Alrighty, I am live. Okay, so we had decided to start working on the gimbal. All of the pieces had shown up, and so I want to give special thanks to Brad, who provided this piece, which was darn near impossible to find. We have our ECM board, or ESC board. We have our original gimbal motor, right? This is the one that came with that was originally in the drone. You can see that there's a screw hole right here that actually has a screw that would keep the cap on and keep it nice and solid. But this one has a minor tear right here on the edge, and so I didn't have any real trust in this motor potentially having damage to the cable. So I had ordered a new one that came in a box that we took. I think that one I ordered months ago, right? Oh, great. Telephone. Anyway, so I ordered that thing months ago. Try to get this thing to stop. Anyway. Great. Here comes one of the creditors. Yay. Anyway, so to make a long story short, I ordered the second part, or I ordered this part. It took months for this thing to get here. As you can see, it's damaged. The top is not attached. If I lightly push on this, it actually falls off. There was supposed to be a screw hole there to be able to screw the top on and keep it in place, and it's not there. When I first got this, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just kind of messed up, and I had pushed down on it and it closed. When I mounted it on the yaw arm, or the roll arm, and started working on connecting up the cables, the gimbal just fell off. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I've already submitted a request back through Amazon to the reseller on this one to let him know that it's defective. I have no trust or confidence in this part right now. So I'm back to a stopping point until I can get a proper roll motor. But there is some good news. I do have the yaw arm motor mounted and in place. I did discover, though, and I'm going to have to do some research, there is a piece, a little plastic piece that's supposed to screw on right here to cover this, which I don't have. Obviously, it was on the obliterated yaw arm. And, there's screw holes for it right there for me to mount it. So, while I'm trying to figure out, how long it's going to take for them to refund or send me a better motor, I'm going to dig around and see if I can find that piece to cover this, because then this goes down inside the body, and I can show you that the ESC board fits perfectly in this thing. This is just beautiful. I had it assembled earlier, and I was really kind of getting my hopes up that I was going to have the gimbal fully assembled today. But when I ran across this problem with this motor, which, I've had boxes come that were sort of mildly mangled, and the parts inside, were okay. This one, it took weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for it to get, because it came through China, it came through the e-packet system. It was just a snail mail thing, it had to go through customs and all this crazy stuff, only to get here and just be completely and totally useless. There's just no way I'm going to trust this piece with this drone. And obviously, I'm going to try to get a photograph taken to send to them to show them that there's actually a screw hole on the original. And I even have the screw that's supposed to go in there to hold that thing in place, which will prevent the gimbal from separating, or prevent the motor from separating, so that the camera doesn't just fall off. which obviously in this case, because there is no screw there, what happens is, and I guess I'll go ahead and do this, it just falls off. I mean, it comes apart just in two pieces, and when I had it attached to the gimbal, it literally slid off the post and the camera was going to fall off. So if I had had that thing in the air, or if I had, if it had functioned long enough for me to put the drone up, the camera could have just drifted right off. After a couple of movements, it would have just fallen off. Which, I swear, I'm getting plagued with this reseller stuff. I'm getting a little disappointed with some of the things that these people are sending me. This right here was just disappointing because I waited for so long for it to arrive. And I mean, it showed up yesterday. It's just crazy. So, in any case, I have everything else. I'm going to look for this cover that's supposed to go on here. And start working on, I think what I'm going to try to get done, at least today, is to get the yaw motor back in the frame over there and get the seals and everything else in place so that it's all back together and underneath the drone, so that all I have to do is basically, put these final screws in place, attach one cable, put the board on, and then just snake the new flex cable through, which is inside this bag. And I have confirmed that the flex cable is the correct one. Nah, I mean, if it was easy, James, everybody'd do it. I mean, they do make this a little bit of a challenge. I mean, why make it easy? They don't want people fixing these drones at home. They'd much rather you send it in and charge you $200 labor for a 5-minute repair. The other thing that concerns me, and I think I'm going to try a workaround for this, there was some special tape that was over the top of this. It's this funky yellow stuff. It's supposedly a tape that is designed to stop interference. And so I'm doing some research to find out whether or not I've got to get that original kind of tape, or if there is an alternative, like maybe just a good electrical tape. If I put some black electrical tape over this, that it would stop any interference. So, because apparently there's it can interfere with the video quality. This is from what I saw in one of the videos. So I got to do some more research on that. But for the time being, again, I'm at a stopping point until I can figure out what to do about this little piece of junk. So I don't believe that the reseller did anything wrong. I don't think they misrepresented the product at all. I think that just it got banged around too much in the shipping, and the product itself, like I said, doesn't match the original, which does seem to have a better design, or at least a more secure design. I was tempted to try to take the base off of this one and put it on this one so that it would screw closed. But my attempts to try to separate this motor failed, and I'm just not willing to rip it to shreds just yet, because even if I do move it over and place it into the other frame, I noticed that there were some unique differences a little bit in the designs. I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario, if they completely come back and refuse to support me, I can try to move this magnet into this case so that I can screw it in place, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Other than that, that's my update for right now. Yeah, thank you very much from Tucson. I appreciate you guys all chiming in and taking a look. it's, like I said, the gimbal is probably more difficult for me to mess with than the actual drone. The drone repairs for the body and everything else, I think that took me like one evening. But I've spent, you know, days, if not weeks, on this gimbal, and I keep running across things that either don't match or that are wrong or whatever. I'm glad I got the right arm. I'm glad I got the right rear door, the ESC board. I know all of those parts are correct. So it's just that little fella now that is going to be the bane of my existence. And then whatever that little, it's like a plastic shield that goes over this. Worst case scenario, if I actually have to, I can probably come up with something that I can put over that just to secure it. But I don't like exposed cable. So, and for that reasoning, I, you know, eventually will want to get that proper shielding. So, thank you guys for chiming in. I'm going to go ahead and pack this stuff back up and wait for the reseller to respond. They have 48 hours. And this is through Amazon. It's not like eBay. eBay, they were a little bit different. And I got like a partial refund and stuff like that. I still haven't gotten rid of the Phantom 4 parts. So if anybody out there wants some replacement parts for their Phantom 4 gimbal, let me know. I've got a flex cable, yaw and roll arm, and the rear cover for a Phantom 4 that I'm trying to sell. Get the parts, get the money back from that and reinvest it into what I need for this. So, and eventually we will get this drone fixed. So, I'm gonna chime out now. You guys have yourselves an absolutely fantastic week. Hopefully you're not being affected by some of the cold fronts that are coming through. So I know here in Houston we went from 80 on Sunday to 54 yesterday morning, which was sort of a bite. But you know, it's Houston. If you don't like the weather, just wait an hour. Talk to you guys later. Bye.